Hey, gun people. Shit, I don't know if that wind's picking up out here. It's going right in front. It kind of goes up and comes down. See, the horses got their butts to it, so they're facing us up at the camera front because I just did a crazy horsey story. And I was going to do a little crazy cop story here. Hopefully the wind ain't too bad. So, I'm driving to get my coffee this morning, and I kind of, boys are eating their breakfast. And I remembered a story as I'm driving back because I saw some idiot almost go off the road. And I looked at him and I went, oh shit, that reminds me of this pursuit I was in. So there was, and I don't think I've told this story. I might have told a variation of it, but hell, I don't know. Anyway, I'm driving to work, and my drive to work, because I lived like, I don't know if you know where Fairfield, where Travis Air Force Base, I lived way from Sacramento, and it was about a 30 to 40 minute drive to Sacramento. And our office, when I was working auto theft, was in a Sacramento, some little office building. It wasn't in a PD, it was in an office building. We rented a space. We were an undercover unit, so, you know, there wasn't cops running in and out. So, and we'd have briefing every morning, I don't know, 7 o'clock, 7:30. And briefing was kind of a bullshit session. What did you do? What's happening? Who's sports? What's the stock market doing? Blah, blah, blah. We'd sit around bullshit, have coffee, joke, crack on who's eating the most donuts, who's whatever. It was a bullshit session. We'd sit around a table, and then we'd figure out what we were going to do from the day. And the sergeant would go, all right, what's on the agenda today? What are you working on? Ah, shit, I got a couple follow-ups. I got a car that I, you know, towed for stolen. It's over here. I got to go to the tow company and try to find a hidden VIN because they cut the VIN plate out and they removed the VIN. And I don't know what the VIN number is, so I can't take it out of the system or do the recovery. I just got it towed, so I got to go inspect that. Someone else be like, I got to do a warrant because I think this guy's on parole or probation and he's hiding shit here, and whatever. So we discussed kind of what, so that briefing in the morning was kind of a bullshit session to get us online, and then the sergeant will be, all right, sounds like you guys all got something to do. Hell, I don't know, I think I need to go eat another donut or go pick up the woman at the donut shop or whatever. So he was like, all right, let's meet back here at 1 and we'll go do some probation searches. And then he'd point at one of us, you know, sometimes he'd point at Ricky, set us up a search list. I'm like, all right. So, you know, one of the sheriff's guys, he'd pick them. Every day it would be somebody else. So if he picked me to do a search list, I'd go through the warrant section, see how many warrants were for stolen vehicles or auto theft or tampering, anything video related, because it was all about stats, anything vehicle related, and then I would say who the bad guys are. I'd look at their records, see which one has guns, weapons, violence, etc. Who's the worst guys of these guys, and then I'd pick out 5 or 10 and I'd put them on a list. And then when I'd put them on that list, I'd have to print out their criminal history and their description. I'd attach that, their address. I'd have to call the jail and go, hey, any of these guys in custody? Because they've all got warrants, they could have been picked up. Sometimes we put them on a list, we do all this planning, we go to the house, kick the door, go in, please arrest, blah, 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 jack everybody up, and the parents will be like, he was arrested last night at 2 o'clock for drunk driving, he's in a jail. And I'm like, how the hell are we supposed to know that? Well, we are supposed to know it, because we have to do what's called due diligence, and you have to have a reasonable expectation on why you kick someone's door if you thought the person was there. So, you don't want, I mean, is there any repercussion for us doing that? No. We could continue to do that and nobody cares, and they could cry and complain, nobody cares. People would say, like, you know what, if you didn't have a criminal son living at your house, then we wouldn't have kicked your door. So nobody really cares, but in the spirit and intent of law, due diligence, we're supposed to not try and do that, not impede on people. So, and we would. And so, when we put together a list, we would call and make sure all these warrants are still good and none of these guys are in custody at the jail. And Sac County has a great system. Hell, I can't think of it now. I just remember it was green letters on the screen. What was it called? XREF. I know everybody has an XREF number in Sacramento around there. So if you contact a criminal, when you get put in jail, you're given an X reference number, and that's your number. So if you want anything or you go anywhere, you got to say your number. So every crook knows their X reference number. So when we contact people and we didn't know if they were on parole, probation, or if they were ever arrested, instead of asking them that, we'd say, like, what's your name, blah, blah, what's your date of birth, what's your XREF number? And the smart crooks would be like, what's an ex-ref? And then we'd find out later they're arrested, but they learn, if I give you an ex-ref, you'll know I've been arrested. The new crooks, and the not so smart crooks, you get their dad, what's your ex-ref? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'd be like, okay. So right away, as soon as they gave us that number, we know you've been in the system, you've been in jail, you know your ex-ref. So I know that you're not this great, you know, poor teen about to go to college to become a doctor. But I digress. So anyway, that's what happens at briefing on a task force. Because remember, the police patrol briefing is different. Usually on patrol briefing, cops sit around, the sergeant says, okay, last night we had 2 burglars in this area, burglars up in this area. We're still looking, last shift had a domestic violence and the guy is so-and-so, he's out, but we think he's going to come home at 4, so who's ever got that beat, make sure you check, look for his vehicle. So they would just pass on kind of like the routine shit for the day that's going to affect you on your shift. And, you know, but on a task force, on a gun task force, a gang task force, we'd talk about gangs, and we'd put together a search warrant list on all probation for gang members. We'd pull them up and say, who's on probation for gang? Let's all go do probation searches, because we know when they're out, they're doing drugs, etc. So, anyway, that's what happens at briefing. And during Christmas time at briefing, we meet at 7. This is your government tax dollars. I know cops are hating me for telling me this, but it's freaking true and it's bullshit. We'd come in at 7 and it'd be like, okay, I know everybody needs overtime. Christmas is coming up. We've got to make some more money. So everybody go do your Christmas shopping and we'll meet back here at 4 and we'll go on overtime and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the night. And we'd work till midnight or until everybody was like, I'm tired, it's boring, let's go, and we'd quit. Because we weren't on a schedule. We didn't have beats. So task forces are very loose. But anyway, I know how you people are like, what? You guys are getting paid to shop? Yeah, all day. Go do your shopping. And then if I went out there and ended up getting in pursuit or chase somebody, I get in trouble. Ricky, you know you're not supposed to be out there doing that. You're going to get the rest of this trouble. We're at the shopping center. We can't pack you up. I told you to go shopping. Why are you out there? I was like, dude, the dude's driving like a maniac and cut me off. I ran his plate. He came back stolen. What'd you want me to do? Don't be running plates. You got to learn how to put blinders on and just go take care of personal stuff. Those guys will be around. There's no incentive to job in the police world. That's why I'm so anti-writing tickets, these guys that go out there and write tickets. You got the idiot cops who are saying, well, they're doing a public service and they're keeping the streets safe and they're trying to protect you so you can, that's all BS crap. Nobody gives a shit. When's the last time you saw a cop issue a ticket when it was raining? Let me help you. 0. Because they don't get out of the car when it's raining 99% of the time. There are going to be a few exceptions. It's got to be really egregious, but most of the time, cops don't give a shit about you. That ain't why they're writing tickets. They're writing tickets for stats because they're told to justify their job, to raise your insurance, to get extra money, to collect taxes. It has nothing to do with doing you a service. If you're that stupid, then you need to run around and get tickets. But I digress. So anyway, so I'm driving to work on my way to briefing, like I do every morning. But in California, if you're driving for an hour, you're going to see about 50 to 100 violations. Whether it's speed, whether it's passing on the freaking median, whether it's cutting in and out, whether it's weaving, whether it's road rage, whether a car's bellowing out smoke, whether a car's got busted window. I mean, you're going to see 50 to 100 violations if you're driving for an hour in California. If you're a cop and you're looking. And when you work auto theft, you get, I mean, even when I was off duty, I would look at things that I never looked at when I was a regular cop because I wasn't like looking. But you know, when I'm off duty working auto theft, it's like every plate I saw, I knew what number and what year that plate was issued. And if it was issued at a different year than the car was a year, then I knew it didn't belong on that car or either lost its plate, so I'd run it. Or I'd look for the sticker and I knew if this sticker was this color and that was that color, and whether they were reversed or whether it was upside down or whether it was thick. Because if it's thick, they'll take a knife and they'll cut the back. They'll put glue and then stick it on theirs, and I know it's fake. So, I mean, you know, whether there's bugs on the black license plates, because there shouldn't be bugs. That means it was a front plate and somebody switched it to the back. You know, the tail lights. If the tail lights were done, I'd drive by and I could actually see the VIN on some of the cars that I knew were stolen. I could tell if the VIN was removed or if it was visible. So if there was a piece of paper covering it or if it was gone, you know, if it was driven by a gang member or a teen doctor on his way to doctor school, I'd be like, okay, guy's got a bandana, flying his colors, thumping his music, smoking looks like a cigarette when it's probably a cigar with marijuana in it. I mean, you just can't drive without finding shit. So this morning, this particular morning, and I can't remember how many stops I made on the way to work, but I'm going down there, and this lady's like driving off the road into the service road or the emergency lane, and then she pulls back in, and I'm like, whatever, I'm going to Briefing, I don't give a shit, let her crash. But then she did it again, and she almost hit a car. Another car slammed, fucking smoke came out of the tires, almost caused a crash. I'm like, damn, this lady's driving crazy. I said, I wonder if something's wrong. I didn't think she was a criminal, but I'm just like, she's driving like a freaking idiot. Is she having a stroke? Is she having a heart attack? Is she diabetic? Is she drunk? I was like, and that's not what I look for. That's not what I want to deal with. I wanted to get to work, eat my freaking donut, drink my coffee, and bullshit with the guys. But I was like, man, I'm right here, and she's doing that. I said, let me just pull her over and check on her real quick. Should be an easy stop, no problem. Click on my lights, hit my siren, totally ignored her. I'm like, that's not good. I get on her butt, and I'm hitting my horn, because when I hit my horn, it changes from wail to yelp. So it was, and then when I hit it, woo, 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 woo. So I'm behind her, and I'm changing my siren, nothing. Nothing. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, I forgot, it was foggy out. So that made it a little bit more dangerous. That's why people were kind of like freaking out. So I'm like, all right, maybe she get, hey buddy. Hey buddy boy, you come see your dad? Are you gonna hold Dad's coffee for him? Cause he's a good boy. Cause he's a good old boy. Anyway, let me get out of my story. Buddy distracts me. So she's not pulling over, so I'm like, shit. And normally I wouldn't call in my traffic stops. I was going to stop her, I wasn't going to run her plate, I was going to make sure she had a license, make sure she's okay, and I was going to be gone. If you hit that camera, I'll beat you like a stepchild, boy. Buddy, don't be a bad boy. You're going to be in trouble. Big trouble. So, it was foggy out. So because she wouldn't stop, now I'm thinking, buddy, quit hitting the camera. You're in big trouble. He knocked that camera. I'm gonna beat him like a damn stepchild. Alright. You're in big trouble. Dad doesn't love you anymore. You're adopted. You're not even my kid. Rick, you can't say shut up! I'm only messing with him. He don't care. Quit! Oh, I can't do anything with this horse. Well, look like a little ponytail. Alright, let me finish this damn story. So, I'm driving, the lady had stopped, so I figure out, shit, I gotta call it in, because now I've got everyone else kind of backing away, everybody circling, now everybody knows I'm a cop. So I'm like, shit, now, and there's a thing that's called a special relationship. I didn't really establish a special relationship with her, but once a cop gets involved in something, if he abandons it and something bad's happened and he shouldn't have abandoned it, there could be issues. Buddy, I really wish you'd come over here and quit messing with the camera. I'm gonna, hey, you're gonna be in big trouble. Scaring Mr. T. You're getting a spanking. Damn sense of that. Alright. I can't ever do a video with this horse. And the wind's picking up, so I'm going to have people complaining. Poor Mr. T left. He's like, dude, I'm out of here. Buddy's going to get me in trouble. Every time I yell at Buddy, Mr. T is like, I'll leave him. You're in big trouble, mister. Alright, I can't even tell if I'm still on camera, shit. So, I turn on the siren, everybody's around me and everything, so I'm like, shit, I gotta call this shit in. Everybody knows now I can't just pull off. So I call it in, and, you know, instead of calling in a pursuit, I just called in a failure to yield. Well, of course, when I talk on the radio, when I call in the plate and I'm talking, the dispatcher and all the other units hear my siren going. And I'm like, okay, I'm about, you know, I'm 50, 60 miles an hour northbound, or eastbound I-80, at exit so-and-so, passing Dixon Boulevard, whatever. I was wherever I was at. So I'm following her, and so they go, all right, all units, Valley 355's failure to yield, I-80. So they repeat that. So of course all the chippies who have no life, because I'm on the chippy channel now because I'm working for the Auto Theft Task Force. So all the CHP are like, woohoo, pursuit, yippee! So they're all getting in their cars, throwing their donuts and racing, because, you know, that's what they do. So, hang on, my horse is about to go at that gate. Watch this. He knows I'm watching him. I'm going to beat him like a red-headed stepchild. Damn horse, I can't ever stay on topic. People ask why I'm always like having a damn kid. He saw that gate open, and he knows he's not supposed to go out there. See, so he's acting like, I'll just mosey over here and make Dad think that I'm eating, and he won't know it, and then I can sneak out this gate. Not that there ain't nothing out there, I just cut the grass. He's got plenty of room out here. See, he knows I'm watching him. He's trying to act like, watch, he'll bump it. Say, hey, it's open. People will be like, oh, he closed the gate for you. He ain't closing it. He thinks he can push it straight through, and I put a block so he can't push it, because that's what he used to do, is just push it through and open it the other way. And that's my fault, because when I'm riding him, I taught him how to push gates. I would say push, and I would ride him into a gate and we'd go through it. Okay, he didn't go through it. He's a good boy. Dad was ready to get on you, boy. You're lucky. I had a rock ready to bean you in the head. All right, I digress. Let me get back this damn video. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Oh, so I'm on the I'm on the radio, and everybody, you know, I've already called out the failure to yield. So of course everybody is coming, and they think that I'm in a pursuit. And so I didn't want people driving like maniacs, so I put out, look, she's not running. It's a female driver. I can't really tell, it's a fog. She was going off the shoulder. I lit her up. She's just not stopping. So there's a difference between not stopping and running. When somebody's running, they're passing, they're going on the shoulder, they're flooring, and you're chasing, and you're running stop signs, you're violating the speed limit, you're doing all this crap. That's a more kind of like, this guy's a bad guy trying to get away. This car just either wasn't going to stop because I was an unmarked unit, but it was so foggy with my lights, my headlights. I mean, California, only cops can have wig wags. Only cops have a solid red light in order to make stops. So I got this big red light, I got this flashing blue light, and I got my headlights going, and I got strobes in the corner of my car. So she knew I was a cop, and I know somebody's going to be there. Well, if I was a woman, I wouldn't stop for cops, and we were... You know what? If you're doing that, then you need to get your butt on the phone and call 911, or pull over in a busy area or something, so, you know, you can't get kidnapped if that's what you're worried about. That's a big excuse for, you know, women to play victim and not have to abide by the law, but I digress. So I'm following her, and this goes on for, shit, 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, shit. Sirens on, I'm pulling to the left, I'm pulling to the right. I try to pull up next to her, but traffic's so thick I can't. So finally there's a chopper in the air. So the air unit, I can't even remember what the chopper was, it's a CHP unit. I forgot their call sign. I used to know them, but now I can't remember. So he comes on, he goes, Valley 355, we're in the area, we're on top of it, where you at? So I'm like, hey, I'm right here, I'm about to take, he's taking the 80 business, 80 loop, something, I don't know. So we made a curve, and I said, we're on a loop now. And I can't even hear the chopper, and he's like, well, we're right above you, and we don't see you. Where are you? And I said, we're in the #1 lane, we're right here, blah, blah. So we're going back and forth. I'm like, dude, but it's foggy, so he can't see. And because I don't have overhead lights, it's harder for them to see, because my lights are more focused to the front, to the rear. So I was like, you know what? I'm in a white pickup truck, because I was driving a little Ranger, Ford Ranger truck was my undercover car, one of them. So I said, I'm going to turn on my rear cab lights, because those lights are pretty bright. When I turn them on, it lights up my entire back area. So I said, I'll turn on my cab lights. I'll be the only car on the road. You'll be able to see them. So I turned those on, and he goes, okay, we got you. We're above you. I said, okay. I said, he goes, which car is it? Because we're kind of, I mean, we're kind of going kind of soft, and you would think, obviously the car I'm behind is the one in, but they wanted the description, which I gave out earlier when I called it in. And I said, you know, it's blah, 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 and he goes, okay, and then a couple other CHP units, we're at the next exit, we're ready to join in, blah, 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 and I'm like, look, this lady ain't got a warrant, she ain't going to jail, this is a medical issue or a drunk issue, I don't really want to deal with this. guys are waiting for briefing by now, because they know when if I'm late for briefing, the sergeant will be like, somebody turn on the radio, see if Rick's gotten involved in some shit. And so by now they already know that, damn it, they've turned on the radio and they went, oh shit, Rick's in a pursuit, he's at 80, he ain't coming in, he's gonna be late. So, but because they heard it, if it would have been a stolen and we were chasing and there were cars crashing, they would all jumped in their cars and came. But because they probably heard that it was kind of bullshit, she was following a yield and weren't chasing anybody, it wasn't stolen, they said, we just had coffee and donuts and, you know, said he'll get in when he gets in. So anyway, the next exit, a couple chippies pull in, they get behind her, now they're in marked units. She don't stop, she just keeps going. So there's 2 marked units behind her, lights is siren. I finally, there was another incident that was kind of like that, but on this one I was just like, I'm done, I'm out of here, I got to get to briefing. So I just called and said, hey, the marked units have it, Valley 355, I'm off, I'm heading to the station, I'm heading to briefing, and you know, marked units have it. And I left, dispatch goes, copy, Valley 355 off, Valley so-and-so, you're primary now or whatever. So you know what, I turned on the damn radio because I didn't want to hear all the calls. I don't even remember if they arrested her, what it was. I never got contacted for court. I don't know what the hell happened on that case, but I mean, and again, I had completely forgot about that until I, like I said, was driving this morning and some lady was like riding in the shoulder and I went, shit, she looks like that dummy that I was end up getting in a damn failure to yield on. Anyway, the horses are gone and I'm done. We'll end that there on a crazy cop story. Hey, on the active self-protection video with the gun blowing up in the face, I'm gonna try and knock that out today or tomorrow, my response. Read all the comments, good comments, but there was some actually pretty damn funny comments. I should do a comment review on that video because you guys are freaking hilarious. But anyway, there's the boys out there. Alright boys, we'll end that there.